Good evening. No music, no intro, no funny words or anything tonight. Um, this has been very quickly strung together. Sad news. Former Leicester City manager Craig Shakespeare has died at the age of 60. His family have announced. The guy is younger than me. And I'm of an age now. I'm in my 60s, and I see not necessarily people I know, but people that I know of, and I look at them and I think they're around my age, and I guess it hits me a lot now, and especially when I see somebody like Craig, who, look, I didn't know him, I'd never met him. Everybody that had was speaks very highly of him, but we all felt we knew him because he was there, every weekend, whether we watched Match of the Day or the Championship, and he'd been there for so long as well. So you felt like you knew the guy, and he was there through probably the best years that I can remember as a Leicester City fan. And look, not just Leicester, fans of every club. We have ups, we have downs, we have mini ups, we have big downs. But look, he had cancer. He was undergoing treatment for cancer, and that it's a bastard, isn't it? I mean, that's going back to last October. One of my neighbours got cancer, and within 3 months, she was gone. But I just want to read this, and I think we should remember that, as much as we knew him, and like I say, it's weird because we didn't know him, but it just feels like we did. But a statement that was released on behalf of his family by the League Managers Association, I just want to read this, said Shakespeare passed away peacefully at his home surrounded by his family. And I guess that's always something. That's as much, I guess, as you could wish for. It added, while the family are immensely proud of his footballing achievements as both a player and a coach, to us, his family, he will always primarily be a loving and loved husband, father, son, brother, and uncle. The loss is devastating to us all, and we would ask that privacy be given at this incredibly difficult time as we try to come to terms with and mourn the loss of a very special person. The family would like to thank and acknowledge the many prayers and good wishes sent during the past few difficult months, many of which were unable to respond to, but all meant a lot to Craig and to the family. We have our fair share of, I'm not, look, these things happen in different ways. I mean, with what happened with Vichai, that was a shock. That was completely not happened. I guess you always hear when somebody's got cancer, it's always certainly in my mind, it goes through the sort of when, not if. And unfortunately, it caught up with him. The picture on the BBC here website, it's just the fans holding up a banner saying "Be strong, shaky," and a lot of ex-managers go, and they go with a bitter taste in the mouth. Leave a bitter taste in the mouth of the fans. Shaky didn't. I mean, I hadn't even heard of him, to be honest with you, before he joined Leicester. He obviously came with Nigel. He was born October 1963. He's a midfielder, and I'm just going to go through his Wikipedia here, which has been updated already. He began his playing career with Walsall, where he made over 350 appearances and a brief spell with Sheffield Wednesday. He also made over 100 appearances for both West Bromwich Albion and Grimsby Town. He also played for Scunthorpe United before finishing his career in non-league football with Telford United and Huddersfield Town. As a coach, Shakespeare had previously worked at West Bromwich Albion, Leicester City and Hull City. He was briefly caretaker manager of West Brom in 2006 and took a similar role at Leicester in February 2017 before he was appointed manager in March. He was appointed permanent manager of Leicester City on the 8th of June 2017 after signing a 3-year deal. He later served as assistant manager at Everton, Watford, Aston Villa and the England national team. I always found it funny, and I'm not ignoring your comments, guys, and I'll go through them at the end. When we got relegated down to League One for our one and only time, that we sacked Ian Holloway and his staff, and we brought in Nigel Pearson and his staff, and I believe Craig Shakespeare was with him at the time. I could be wrong. I'm just seeing here if it. Yes, Shakespeare left Albion in June 2008 to become Pearson's assistant manager at Leicester City, a move that was confirmed on the 1st of July. As well as having worked together on the West Bromwich Albion coaching staff, the two had also played together at Sheffield Wednesday. Shakespeare once said that Pearson was the best captain he'd ever played under. He then followed him to Hull, Nigel Pearson, and of course he followed him back to Leicester when he came back. But like I say, that when Leicester got relegated, and Nigel Pearson kept Southampton up at our expense. He was sacked by Southampton, came to us, and the rest, as they say, is history. I don't find anybody has had a bad word to say about him, and I'm not going to go on and on and on, but I just don't think there is, and I think he was destined, as many assistant managers are, or as coaches are. I don't think he was ever destined to be a manager. He was always good in that number 2 role. And look, he was there when we had that fantastic season. He was there when we had the disappointment to Watford. Don't scratch your eyes out final. He was there the following season when we broke virtually every single record that was going. He was there when we got promoted that season. Then he was there when we did the Great Escape. He was there when we won the Premier League. Nigel had obviously been sacked, and he didn't go with him. He stayed, and I have to say that was probably one of the biggest things, I think, that helped us win the Premier League. Not the fact that, yes, of course, Claudio Ranieri came in. Claudio Ranieri took us to that next level. But the fact that Shaky had, and he was known as Shaky to so many people, I even heard Nigel discussing him once and called him Shaky. But the fact that he stayed gave us that bit of continuity. Yes, Nigel had gone, and we know the circumstances in which he left, and that's another story. But the fact that Shaky stayed and was able to stay to Claudio, and I think it made it a lot easier for Claudio. A new manager comes in and he's got to try and get used to, what does this player do? What does that player do? And I think he was able to go to Shaky and go, you know what, I think I might try Mahrez doing this. And Shaky would go around and say, stupid idea. Don't do it, because he knew him. He will always be remembered. He will always be remembered for that. And he will always be remembered. And I think somebody's already put it up there, and as I will come to your comments at the end, but the Seville game in the Champions League. I mean, you know, I cannot believe that I have watched my team walk out at the King Power Stadium, or the Leicester City Stadium as it had to be renamed, while they're playing the Champions League music. I can't believe how we did against Seville. That was the season when Arsene Wenger, Arsenal manager of the time, sorry Molina, I know you're in, turned around and said, Leicester City are going to embarrass English football. Well, I tell you what, Arsene, you lost, I think it was 10-2 over 2 games, was it, to Bayern in that particular year in the Champions League? I think you were the embarrassment. We were the last remaining English club in the Champions League. We got to, thanks to that guy that you can see there, not just him, but we got to the quarterfinals, and we were very unlucky. A dodgy penalty, as always seems to do Leicester, doesn't it? A dodgy penalty. It's a story about history. A dodgy penalty in the first leg. But quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Of the Champions League. Yes, we've like I say, we've won League Cups, we've won FA Cups, but winning the Premier League quarterfinals. I actually have, it's not up there, but I've actually got a shirt printed. Leicester City, the final British team in the Champions League, 2016-17, and I'm proud to wear it. And he gave us that. You know, I mean, look, we will love Claudio for what he did, but we were doing a bit of the old bottom fishing, weren't we, at the time? We were struggling at the bottom. He had to go. Craig came in. First game in, we beat Liverpool 3-1 or 3-0, something like that. Yeah, and unfortunately, like I say, I think destined to be a coach. And he came back and not a manager, I should say. You know, he was given a 3-year contract, as most managers are, and it didn't work out. The following season, we were back where we were. But yeah, you know, he helped us live our dreams, and he was part of that. Part of that era. When it is not often that you can always remember the assistant managers. And Shaky, of course, the season before last came back, and I think we were a little bit worried when we finally sacked Brendan Rodgers as to who we would get in. You know, would it be the American Jesse Marsh? There's a few others, Big Sam. We had Dean Smith, who might have been struggled to have been accepted, but he came in with Craig Shakespeare, and I think we almost said, if Craig's with him, and it was almost like it's fine if Craig trusts him enough to work with him, we trust him. He was like his family said, he was like, you know, your favourite uncle, wasn't he? Like I say, never met him myself, but you do have a feeling that he had a lot of input into the, not just, you know, the coaching, but the tactics, probably more than Nigel, possibly, because some managers manage and the coaches train and do all that. And if you ever have a look at a lot of the videos and the games, that Nigel and him, they're always in discussion. They're always talking to each other. You know, Craig's pointing things out to him and saying things to him. And the fact, I think, that Craig stuck with Nigel. When he left Leicester, he went to Hull with him. When he came back to Leicester, he came back with him. But then, as they stayed with us, and we will, like I say, got us promoted, did us the greatest of great escapes, got us to win the Premier League and shut Arsene Wenger up, which never a bad thing, is it? Sorry, Mel. But yeah. Rest in peace, Craig. Rest in peace, and a big thank you, not just me, but from every Leicester City fan for all that you have done. I just wanted to do this very last minute, no promotion at all, no fancy music or jokey intros. Just wanted to come on and say best wishes to his family, sadness to his family, and rest in peace. Rest in peace to him. I might say it was the big C that got him. And 60, I think somebody just said there, 60 is no age. Younger than me. Younger than me. It makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think. And it says here, I'm just reading on here, he took Leicester City from the third tier of English football to the Champions League quarter-finals over his two spells. I'm sure he's up there now, and I'm sure he's having a word with God and saying, look, you pick the players, mate, I'll train them. And he's probably walking around on a cloud now with those two balls under his arms. And doing it. But look, I said let's just go through some comments here. Anil is in. Hi, Anil. R.I.P. to a club legend. We'll never forget that Sevilla game. No, you're quite right, mate. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry. No. Amazing, wasn't it? Quarter-final of the Champions League. Who would have known it? Highfields, God bless Shaky, love to all his family. Charlie, shocking news, R.I.P. Jeff, hi, says R.I.P. Shaky. Mike, and this is nice. I mean, Mike, Newport and Man United fan. R.I.P. Craig Shakespeare, Leicester legend, thoughts with his friends and family and the Leicester family. Thank you very much for your kind words. Is it Prakash? I don't want to pronounce it wrong. R.I.P. a Leicester legend who played a major part in our incredible Premier League victory. That Sevilla match was exceptional. How many times have we watched that? And his celebration, I mean, it was like, I mean, he wasn't one of our own, but it felt like it was, James is in. Hi, James. R.I.P. Craig Shakespeare. Really shocked by this news. Condolences go out to his family and friends. Thank you, James. Everton fan there. Tony, awful news. Love to his family. Football Leeds fans and real fans of any club. Sleep well, son. Tony, appreciate that. I know we have a lot of banter with Leeds fans, and it's just banter. We just wind each other up. You laugh when we fall, we laugh when you fall. But I appreciate that, mate. Thank you very, very much. Zane, never a nice thing to hear about. R.I.P. Yvonne, 60. No, it isn't. I mean, look, we've all, I with my illnesses, I shouldn't be here, but I am. I'm grabbing a second chance at life. But when somebody goes that is actually, as I say, younger than me, it does really, really, really make me think. Luke is in. Rest in peace. Craig Shakespeare will always be a Leicester City legend. Thinking of everyone at the club. Devastating news. Thank you. And that's from a Nottingham Forest fan. And Doug, Liverpool fan. Rest in peace, Craig Shakespeare. Thank you, Doug. Foggy, sad day for the club. Yep, definitely. Early days, evening, Chris, and sad news. Taken too early. R.I.P. Craig. Indeed, early door. Thank you so very much. And Melina, I mentioned her earlier, Arsenal fan. Thank you very much, Melina. Sorry, but the Arsenal thing's part of his legacy. Rest in peace. Never great and sad news. great player and manager. Probably never quite hit the heights as a player, but the thing is, he will be remembered. I don't think there'll be anybody from any club that he's played for or managed that will have a bad word to say. Ronald just heard the awful news. I'm truly shocked and saddened. Told you, bro, this is heartbreaking news. R.I.P. Shaky. Nigel has said some lovely words about him. I'm just trying to see when Nigel, whereabouts told you? Whereabouts are those? Good evening, my favourite Hi Melina. How are you? 60 way too young. Yeah, rest in peace. No age. 60 Ben. Think you should play his chant one last time, Chris. I haven't got that one, unfortunately. I done a lot of changes for the new season. I haven't got the chance. Thank you for the memories. Exactly. That's all we can say is thank you for the memories. Devastating news. I was 10 when we had that turnaround against Seville. What amazing memory. Thank you. You've really, really, really made me feel old now. LCFC. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Melina. A true Leicester City legend. Best wishes to his family. Thank you indeed. Chris, you're a great person and a good friend. I appreciate that, Mel. You are as well. Very sad news, Chris. May God bless Craig Shakespeare and his family. I feel like I need to raise a beer to him tomorrow night for the great memories he gave us. He did. And True Red, Craig Shakespeare did things at Leicester that football fans have never seen before. It's remarkable. We as fans of any club should always remember what he did for such a great football club. Yeah, thank you. Kind words from a Forest fan there. He will never be forgotten and will forever hold a special place in the hearts of everybody connected. He will. And I think it. You tend to sort of. I know you're thinking, well, I should have said some of these things while people are alive, and you don't. But if this was to happen to Brendan, and I know he left in a bad state, but you still remember the good times that these people bring to the clubs. Is it on the BBC? All right, I'll just see if I can update it, because I'd like to just read that out. Here we go. So this is nice. Well, just do one. I think I've got a couple more comments. Jamie Vardy tribute on Twitter is touching. Again, I literally haven't had a chance to see it all. Never forget, lads, it was Shaky that convinced Vardy not to pack playing up when he signed. He had it on TalkSport a year ago. Nice tribute from Vardy. Let's have a look what our Jamie was saying. I think there'll be a lot of nice tributes coming out to him. I think he meant an awful lot to a lot of players. There we go. Yeah, I don't have the words right now. Just gutted, or I'd be shaky. I think it's sums up what we all think. To be honest with you, few words, but it means a lot. Just say probably leave with this. Former Leicester boss Nigel Pearson, who worked with Shakespeare at 5 different clubs, said it's difficult to put into words how I, and indeed everyone who came across or worked with Craig, will feel on hearing such devastating news. He is without hesitation one of the most wonderfully talented, emotionally understanding, calm, balanced, and outrageously funny people I've had the privilege of calling my friend. Safe journey to the next destination, my wonderful friend. You are loved and admired by us all, and every time we think of you, a smile, chuckle, or memorable occasion will come to us. We truly are the lucky ones for having known you, Shaky. I mean, you can't add anything to that, can you? You can't add anything to that. Sad day. Sad day. Let's hope we can give him something to cheer about up there this season. Thank you for coming in. Like I say, totally put together with 5 minutes. And I just wanted to say my thank yous, because whether my son will ever see anything like this again at the club, I don't know. Like I say, I'm in my 60, 63 now, so I doubt. And I never thought I would see, and it isn't just him, and he would be the first to admit it wasn't just him. It was him with Nigel. It was him with Claudio. It was him on his own, basically. And then, of course, he tried to do it with Dean Smith, and he just could not pull it that another escape off, but was very, very close. He will be missed. You will be missed, Craig. Thank you very, very much for everything that you've given the fans of the club and every club that you've been at, not just Leicester, but of course, I am just speaking about Leicester. You will be remembered. You will be remembered. And like I say, R.I.P. Shaky. Thank you very much.